The peace of Christ be with you. This is a midweek reflection for Third Reformed on December 16th. And on this third week of Advent, we look to the theme of joy. I hope you've been clicking through to the links to the Bible word studies from the Bible Project that I've been including in these Advent reflections. I think they do a fantastic job of digging into the Old Testament Hebrew and New Testament Greek languages that our English Bibles are translated from. They unpack the depth of meaning in those words, and they wrap it all up in some fun visuals that can help you engage with it a little better. And this week is no different. When you click through and watch their Bible word study on joy, you'll be reminded that the biblical concept of joy runs much deeper than something more superficial, maybe a happiness that is connected to circumstances. The biblical concept of joy is that it is an attitude of the heart, a posture of our relationship to God and to the world around us. Now, that's not to say there aren't circumstances or events that make joy easier to experience and recognize, or that deepen the joy within our heart. That's absolutely the case. But it does mean that even in difficult circumstances, joy can abide. Right? It transcends difficulty. So even when we're engaged in the work of loss and lament, of grief, we can still tap into that abiding joy that carries us through, reminds us that we're a part of something bigger and better. I think that there's a wonderful metaphor for that image of joy in the midst of pain, wrapped up in this season of Advent and Christmas. It comes with this amazing and remarkable part of God's story, that his greatest gift to the world would come in something so humble, so normal as a little child. And that child would come into this world the same way all children do, through pain, through blood, through the visceral act of bringing life out of the womb and into the world. Now, I need to be a little bit careful in talking about this because it's not something that I have firsthand experience of, right? Only the women who have done that work of nurturing and carrying a life and delivering that life into the world can truly speak with authority on that experience. But I am grateful that, unlike many generations before me, I was able to be present for the birth of my children, even an active participant in some small way in encouraging that process along. I got to witness the remarkable strength and courage of my wife in that moment. And it's something of a paradox that in an experience that could bring about the most intense physical pain a person may ever experience, there can also come this deep and overwhelming experience of joy. The two go hand in hand, and in some ways they're inseparable. The joy of new life and promise and overwhelming love, tethered to this experience of excruciating pain. What a beautiful and visceral story we are given with Mary's labor of love that brought Jesus into this world. And that is the kind of joy that we are encouraged to pursue and to seek, to recognize that in that gift of Christ and in the belonging it provides of bringing us from exclusion to embrace in God's presence, we have a source of joy that can carry us through any circumstance, any situation, any challenge. So I hope that in this Advent season, you and those you love continue to find joy, to rely on joy, and to even see it increase as you recognize God's promise and provision even in the midst of a challenging year.